Namaste, Jai Bharat. In the Varnashrama Dharma of the Vedic Varnashrama Dharma, the four ashramas are different, they wrongly said. Four Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, where Vaishya, trader, their role is never underestimated. They have their distinct importance and worth. Today's world, if you see, it becomes a trader's world. The politics is more based on trade. There was a time when geopolitics was based on invasions and bringing of money. See, fundamentally, the invasions were aimed at obtaining money from rich nations. Then, of course, there were invasions through fanaticism. That's a class apart. So we're not counting about that. So trade governs. Trade exerts much control over the geopolitical situations all over the world. Relations are also based on trade. Rather, everything gets based on trade once the substructure, if you speak through structuralism, once the substructure is just economic substructure alone, then trade is a tributary to such economic structure, then it becomes the fundamentals. All other things gets to be superstructure in geopolitics. This remains as reality, but economic structure is not just one or the ultimate structure of a society. Economic structure is one functionally important structure of the society. It's not the ultimate thing, or that is not the only possible structure of a society. Society can have multiple structures to be realistic, and this is just one structure among possibly others. How many we have to find out? So trade becomes the key factor in this economic substructure where everyone focuses on trade. To that extent, we find the trade wars, and the trade wars, apparently it can be self-stultified, like what Trump does. He imposes tariffs on others as per his fancy. I would call it as per his fancy because that's what is apparent, and I have no interest in going beyond what is apparent in this case. So he puts tariffs. Actually, what happens? It's only when commodities, I'm using that term, commodities reach their state, US for instance, these tariffs gets implemented. So in their market, these things becomes expensive, costing more, and given the kind of tariffs which are imposed. Who ends up paying? Their citizens will have to pay at least for a short time until they arrange substitutes which would be suiting their convenience, and that's not done given my understanding. The tariffs are put to many people, or all kinds of people. Then these things will get more expensive, and the citizens of that tariff making nation here, for instance, is US, will have to pay for some time, and this period the people will suffer from dearth. First of all, things may not be available in the market as they used to have in the past, like bananas from Bharat, or many such things. We can make a list, and the inventory shall be really too long. But the objective of this tariff is, through this, the nation's wealth flow, money flow inwards shall go up, which will in the long run strengthen their economic substructure. Now, even if this functions better, even if the economic substructure gets improved, there will be no occupants in their projected superstructure because people must have already lost their ability. They may not be able to may not be people who shall avail the facilities of those extra created superstructural amenities. No one may be there. They will suffer. Nonetheless, trade war goes on. Puts tariff here, puts tariff there. Give him for this much, give him for that much. It goes. As on today, US, Europe combined, there's a hegemony of market. There's a hegemony of market. There's a hegemony of pressure. And there's a hegemony of everything. They impose their whims, I'm not telling you wills. They impose their whims and fancies upon others, especially the present US. And they target non-Europeans because the kind of mindset that evolved after two European wars is that they continue to be the world. We are the world. This, of course, is very spurious. World is not confined to Europe. World has many other people who are much important than these people. Much significant, much important than these people. They come together. They have not come together in the past for all kinds of reasons. Now, there's a present thought is that there's a Eurasia trade bloc. Let the Europeans be Europeans, no problem. Let them live in their visual paradise they are. This Eurasia trade bloc, it comes into practice. The amount of people or the number of people or the size of the human beings in this shall be overwhelming for Europeans. They can't control the economy with this. Their exchange, SWIFT or dollar, might soon cease to exist. And there is such a moment that's happening. A Eurasia bloc. They can afford to avoid European hegemony. That means they can outlive that. That means that these people are autonomous, can become autonomous and self-sufficient without depending on Europe. Why should they depend on what for they should depend on is for the bloc to decide. Whether dependence can be struck out, they can. Whether dependence can be made alternative, they can. They have the potentiality, they have the capability, they have the intellect, they have the technical know-how, they have the knowledge. Under this tariff dance, I used to call this tariff ballet. Under this tariff ballet, this Eurasia bloc can emerge, is emerging, which will get structured, and then the world really is divided into two. Maybe East and West, maybe Europe and Asia. Asia would automatically include many others because Europe had been alienating themselves from the rest of the world for various reasons. So this Eurasia trade unit, let me call, should be coming where dollar will have to suffer, so many people have to suffer, all previous dominations will not be continuing. That's a good hope, rare hope, which is not spurious, which is impending. Let's hope for a better tomorrow. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.